The Lost Sea, located in Sweetwater, Tennessee, is the largest underground lake in the United States and the second largest in the world. It is a vast cave system that stretches for miles beneath the surface. Discovered in 1905 by a young boy, the Lost Sea is now part of an extensive underground network. Visitors can take glass bottom boat tours across the crystal clear waters to see its unique formations and learn about the fascinating history of the cave system. It is a hidden gem packed with adventure and mystery. Booking in advance is highly recommended, especially for large groups. So let's go on a full tour of the cave with one of their own guides.
I'm going to be your tour guide for today. Before we start the tour, like I said, there are a few rules and things I want to go over with you guys. The first thing I want to talk about is the yellow tunnel we are in now. Now we do call it that because it is yellow and it is a tunnel. And we did specifically choose yellow though to help your eyes adjust to the cave lighting. Now this is not the natural entrance. The natural entrance is 132 very steep steps. So this was blasted through 135 feet of rock to make it easier to enter the cave. It is a 3/4 mile round trip. It's about a half mile down and a 1/4 mile back up. But that 1/4 mile back up has an equivalent to climbing a 14-story building. So if everyone is prepared to hike, that is what you paid for. But you'll have 3 rest stops along the way to sit down and catch your breath. And also, like I said, I do have a few rules for you guys. I promise they're all simple and easy to follow. Stay behind me and on the trails at all times. If you guys see any mats like these ones right here, be sure to step on those and start putting the more slippery parts of the cave. Now, smoking, vaping, or littering is allowed inside the cave. Also, please do not break, damage, or deface any cave walls or formations. Tennessee state law purposes under a $50 to a $500 fine. So with that being said, please do not touch any part of the cave unless I say it's okay to do so. We do have some holes on our hands that can cause active formations to grow inactive. Our first stop, we are going to cross a bridge. On that bridge there is a low-hanging rock. Please watch your head for that, but I will point it out right before we get to it. Now, are there any questions before we start the tour? You guys are welcome to scoot in here if you need to see the formation a little bit better. I promise I don't bite. They told me I have to stop doing that. So. The Cascades. This is actually the prettiest formation we have throughout the entire cave. This wide formation you see down here is known as flowstone. Flowstone is made out of calcium carbonate, which is also used in making tums or rollates. At the very top up here is our drapery, also known as cave bacon. It's made out of iron oxide and basically it's just a pretty rust, but the reason we call it cave bacon is in the right lighting, it can look like bacon. So you all are welcome to take a few pictures if you'd like. You can even use the flash if you want to, but we are going to head straight back across that bridge. Just please watch your head for that low-hanging rock. I promise y'all that has not moved. Have you guys ever been here before? So we got a few. Awesome. So you see up top, drip down and create stalagmites. So sometimes it does look like the stalactites are crying. Now eventually these will grow together and create a stalactite, also known as a column or a pillar. One way to remember them though is stalactites stick tight to the ceiling, whereas stalagmites might grow to be taller. Once we're going to make our way down this path, be sure to watch your step. Cherokee Chief Craighead would come down here and he would hold his meetings through the procession of the Hiwassee or Ocoee Langren. At the time it was perfect to hold his meetings down here because it stays 58 degrees year round. So in the summer it's cooler and in the winter it is warmer. We know this is true because in 1927 a group of teenagers came down here and they found a bunch of Native American artifacts including pottery, jewelry, and arrowheads, which you all can see in the lobby in the glass showcase where you guys got your tickets. Now these up here are anthodites. Anthodites get their name from the Greek word anthos, meaning flowers, so we do call them arcade flowers. They grow 1 cubic centimeter every 1,000 years. That makes them extremely rare because they're extremely slow growing. They're only held in about 8 caves across the world, and the Lost Sea holds the majority of these. We hold about 70% of them. So that makes us a U.S. registered natural landmark. Now these are inactive. You can tell that by the dark brown color on them. We do have a few active ones through the cave. The active ones have a light brown and white color. The white color is actually a calcium deposit. Once we gotta make our way underneath this low-hanging rock right here, be sure to watch your head for that. It's like sandpaper meets cheese grater, also known as the wig snatcher.
Yeah. These are rocks, or are they?
Mama, watch your head.
Yeah, look at this, look at this.
Yes.
Watch your head. See, I need to get ahead of you. On this side. There's like a canyon here, look.
Not K-I-L-L. We got that because the red clay you see on your right-hand side. Early settlers would come down here and they mix that with buttermilk and create buttermilk paint, which they would put on both sides of their barns. And this is the third largest room throughout the entire cave. It's about 600 feet long, 150 feet wide, and 35 feet high. Now, as you guys make your way down this path, please watch your steps once again. There are a few dips and divots throughout this path. Is an example of the boats we will be taking down at the lake. There are 4 boats down there and they seat about 2 people per boat. Yeah, I was just joking. I was just trying to make sure you guys are paying attention. So this is actually a reconstructed leaching vat. In the 1860s, Confederate soldiers would come down here and they would mine back guano, also known as bat poop, due to the potassium nitrate in it. They would mix it with boiling hot water and dirt, and that created what is known as mother's liquor, which would pour off into that bucket. They pour it straight back in there, then add potash lye to the mix and heat it once again, and that creates saltpeter crystals, which were then sold off to gunpowder refineries to make gunpowder. Also, on your left-hand side over here is the oldest known date we have throughout the entire cave, 1863. And it was put there on the carbon end of a Confederate soldier's torch. And it's been carbon-14 tested and dates to be authentic, so that makes us a Civil War trail mark. Also, while you guys are kind of looking at that date over here, be sure to watch your head on the right-hand side for this rock right here. We call that the Hollywood Rock. If you hit your head on it, you'll be seeing stars, like the Rock Johnson.
Like the Hollywood stars. What was on this side?
Watch out for your head.
Yes.
Mama, watch out for your head.
Yes, baby. I don't think I am as tall. Oh, look, there's those writings and stuff.
can tell you a few things about it. So like I said, that's where the natural entrance is, 132 place steps at a 45-degree angle. Back there we did find the remains of a Pleistocene jaguar that was at the bottom of a 90-foot pit. His remains were around 1,000 years old, but he was said to be about 8 feet and 500 pounds, not including his tail. We sent those remains off to the American Natural History Museum up in New York, but there's a replica of his head in the lobby if you guys would like to check that out. After we found that, we opened up a bar in 1947. It was called the Caverns Tavern, and basically people would come down here to drink and dance and have fun. What they did not know at the time was due to the temperature and humidity down here, effects would not take effect as quicksilver would on the surface. So a lot of people got mad. They thought they was getting sold fake moonshine. They stormed up the natural entrance. Only the higher they got, So they just stormed right back down. That was closed shortly after for obvious reasons, but we did also have a fallout shelter back there. It had enough food to feed up to 20,000 people for 2 weeks. We also got rid of that shortly after, realizing we didn't really need it. But we kept a few of the containers back here just in case you guys got hungry. Those held crackers and water. You guys might have noticed that big sign with a whole bunch of weird names. That's actually for our wild tours. Our wild tours consist of everything we do today, plus a few crawls and crevices. Then after that, you will stay the night in the cave. If you guys do want to check that out, you must get tickets online. You have to order those 2 weeks in advance and order at least 12 tickets due to it being a private tour. Now, the last thing I want to talk about while we are in this room is total natural darkness. Now, I am scared of the dark too, but please do not scream and please do not run around. If you scream, it echoes to the cave, and there are other tours down here. If you run around, you can't see where you're going, so you're probably going to fall and get hurt. If you guys have any light sources on, like phones, watches, flashlights, anything of the sort at all, be sure to turn those off, cover those up, or put those away. We just don't want to ruin this for each other. If you guys need to get close, make sure to do so now. Or if you want to get as far away as possible from each other, make sure to do that as well. Alright, you guys, if everyone is ready, the lights are going out for y'all in 3, 2, 1. Now, it does take a light in the back a little bit longer to turn out, but you guys are now experiencing total natural darkness. If you were to stay down here for 2 weeks, you would eventually go blind. Obviously, we are not going to stay down here for 2 weeks. If anyone wants me to turn the lights back on, please raise your hand now. The lights are coming on whenever we do this quick experiment. I just want you guys to, it said that if you rub your hands together really quickly down here, it'll create static electricity and cause a spark. Awesome job. Now we are going to exit out the same way we entered, but you'll come across 2 paths. You're going to take the left path. On that left path, there are a few low-hanging rocks on your left-hand side though. So take the left path, but stick to the right-hand side. Also, the path that we're going on does have a few dips and divots on it as well, so please be sure to watch your step. And it will be a second before we get to the next thing I want to talk about. So are there any questions while we're in this room? Hole is a water erosion hole that's said to be about 13 feet deep, but it tapers off to the size of a softball. And from there, we're not sure exactly how far down it goes, but there is a legend behind it saying that if you look in there and you've been good, you will see nothing. But if you've been bad and you look down in there, you will see something. Now, some people have said they've seen the devil's face. Others say they see their in-laws' face. So it really just depends. And you guys are welcome to look, but we do like to say hesitation here at the Lost Key is a sign of guilt. So please keep that in mind.
I saw Mike White's face.
I got your face.
Good luck. Yay.
You don't feel it. You feel the oil.
I saw nothing.
Well, I see nothing. Nice.
I'm a good kid.
You are a good kid. You're a great kid.
Hey.
You're a great kid too.
Formed by a water erosion. There's only a slight difference between the two. That slight difference being the Grand Canyon's about a mile deep, whereas our baby Grand Canyon's somewhere around 10 feet deep. So it is only a tiny difference. But now, once we're going to make our way down this path, please watch your step once again. This is a steep and very slick path. It's one of the slickest paths we have. If you need to hold on to a rail, hold on to the metal one. Don't hold on to the wooden one. Now it cuts off about halfway down. Here, there are 3 things I want to talk about. The first thing I want to talk about is the reason why it's called the spring room. Back there, you guys can hear it. That is Crystal Falls, the only visible water source that feeds into the lake throughout the entire cave. Now, there are 2 other sources that we know about. Those just feed underneath the lake. On the other side of that is a authentic Tennessee moonshine still from the Caverns Tavern. It's one of two that we kept. There's that one down here, and there's one up top near the general store. It's a pretty teal color. If you guys did not see it before you came down here, make sure to check it out on the way out. Now, also, sorry guys, it's one of those days. The last thing I want to talk about with you guys is a warning I am required to give y'all. It's about the walk down and the walk back up. This is the part of the tour that I said was equivalent to climbing a 14-story building. It is very steep, it is very strenuous, and it can be slick. If you guys have any heart problems, back problems, knee problems, breathing problems, anything of the sort at all, and you feel as though you cannot make it down this hill and back up, then the walk down is not mandatory, but the walk back up slightly is. So you guys are welcome to stay right here at the first rest stop, and it will be a 20 to 25 minute wait, and you will miss out on the lake and the boat ride. Does anybody feel the need to stay up here? Alone, in the dark, in a cave, just me. Alright, so before we head down there, I do want to give you guys a few recommendations though. The first one being you take pictures on the way back up. I know you guys want to take pictures. Sands Tunnel. While we are in here, before I start talking about Vincennes, I do want to let you guys know this is one of the only parts of the cave you can touch. So if anyone has had any urge at all to touch any part of the cave, please be sure to do so now and get it over with. Now, in 1905, a 11-year-old boy by the name of Vincennes came down here during the drought with his oil lantern and only his oil lantern, exploring the cave as a 11-year-old boy would do. Whenever he did this, he came across a bicycle tire-sized hole. He crawled in through that hole and ended up waist-deep in water. So then from there, he took up clay off the ground. He balled it up, then he threw it around to see if he could find any walls. He never ended up finding walls, so he got super excited, went up to the top, then told all the locals what he had just discovered. Obviously, nobody believed the 11-year-old boy, so he decided to bring his dad down here. The only problem was he brought his dad down here 2 months later after the drought had went away, so the water levels rose, covering that bicycle tire-sized hole, and they couldn't find any other entry. So it wasn't until 60 years later, in 1965, that the lake was rediscovered again by a group of geologists. Whenever they came down here and found this lake, they wanted to figure out who had originally found it. So all the locals pointed to Vincennes. They called up Vincennes, and he answered a series of questions perfectly.
Oh, what's here? Oh, there's water here.
Mommy, watch your head.
I'm not that tall, baby. I'm fine.
Then watch your head on that.
Oh, there's water here too.
Watch your head.
Yeah. Is this water or what is it? But it looks all teal, right? Oh, come here, come here. Come here, Isha, this side.
Are we home yet?
Home? We've reached the lake.
We should have called it lost lake instead of the lost sea.
Well, so big.
So scared.
Papa, jump. Papa, she's scared.
Now we are a large enough group, we will have to split in half. Half of y'all will go with Jonah over here, and half of y'all are still stuck with me. Yay. To do this evenly, don't have any large groups of 5 or more. So raise your hand.
Alright, my name's Jonah. I'll be your boat driver. We're just gonna drive around the lake, talk about some stuff. So if you guys have any questions, a lot shallower than it actually is. Now, after the middle is around 35 to 40 as an experiment. We tag them with a name and phone number that tells them they would find the next link. Catch one, call us, tell us where they caught it. And we
They
have
put
it
the
back.
rainbow trout here, they're saying.
Unfortunately, rainbow trout can't see in the dark. Yeah, we didn't get anywhere with that. And it really doesn't help that we feed them about 60 times a day, so they really don't believe. Now, in 1973, we had a group of divers come down here. They were also trying to find an exit to the lake. And right back here along this wall, about 30 feet under the water, 5 feet from the bottom, it's about an 800 foot tunnel. Now, at the end of that tunnel, it opens up to about 9.5 acres of water, but we are not allowed to go back down there ever again, just because once the divers went down there, the air tanks caused some pressure shift, and it caused some of their rocks to fall, which got pressure. Luckily, they all just made it out with a few minor concussions. But we're still not allowed to go back in there. And I don't have anything to talk about from here to back here, so if you guys have some questions, feel free to ask.
¿Tú te pescado?
Now, a lot of people thought that the fishing here were blind and albino. Just from the tour guides in the 70s, they only said that to make a lot more tips, but they are neither of those. They only lose about 25% of their eyesight and 75% of their color. And the biggest fish we ever had in here, its name was Craighead. It was 16 pounds, 7 ounces, and 3 inches wet, 23 feet long. Trevor was brutal.
Look here. Oh my god, look this side.
We do this all the time. Since they are river fish, they can't be produced down here, but that's part of our philosophy. We are going to have to be leaving our big city area. We don't want to play battle ships from America. We would win though. But if you guys, once again, have any questions, now, right down here, this is around 50 to 60 pt. Way back there, where it's pretty dark, that's where it's around 70 to 75 pt. We just can't go back there though. They don't trust the 16-year-old.
Like I said earlier, these fish do have a non-human. What if you guys?
Thank you so much.